I request everyone to join us in welcoming our dignitaries. I request Advocate Atul Pandey, President of the High Court Bar Association, and Amol Jaltare, Secretary, to kindly escort our esteemed dignitaries on the dais.
Honorable Shri Justice B.R. Gavai, Judge, Supreme Court of India. Honorable Shri Justice A.S. Oak, Judge, Supreme Court of India. Honorable Shri Justice P.B. Varale, Judge, Supreme Court of India. Honorable Shri Justice Devendra Kumar Upadhyaya, the Honorable the Chief Justice of the Bombay High Court. Honorable Shri Justice Nitin Sambre, Senior Judge, Bombay High Court, Nagpur Bench. Honorable Judges of the Bombay High Court, distinguished former judges, respected senior advocates present, learned members of the judiciary, members of the bar, esteemed invitees, members of the legal fraternity, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the High Court Bar Association Nagpur, I, Astha Sharma, along with Advocate Radhika Bajaj, welcome you all to the centenary year celebration of the High Court Bar Association and the felicitation of the beacons of the High Court Bar Association.
My Lord Justice Sharad Bobde quoted John Keats while concluding his speech yesterday, and some eternal words of Keats himself would be fitting to commence the felicitation function today. And I quote, "We are such forest trees, and our fair branches have bred forth not pale solitary doves, but eagles, golden feathered, who do tower above us in their beauty. Today, we have gathered here to felicitate 19 such towering personalities, former presidents of the High Court Bar Association, and senior advocates designated belonging to the Nagpur Bar, who have been instrumental in shaping the destiny of the High Court Bar Association and the Nagpur Bar with their unwavering determination, legal acumen par excellence, and an undying spirit to work for the betterment of the bar and the noble profession of law."
At the outset, I request Advocate Bosco Anthony, Executive Member, HCBA, to kindly welcome Honorable Shri Justice B.R. Gavai with a sapling.
I request Advocate Sagar Katkar, Executive Member HCBA, to accord a warm welcome to Honorable Shri Justice A.S. Oak.
I request Advocate Aniruddha Ananthakrishnan, Executive Member, HCBA, to kindly welcome Honorable Shri Justice P.B. Varale with a sapling.
I request Advocate Priyanka Arbat, Executive Member, to kindly welcome the Honorable the Chief Justice Shri Devendra Kumar Upadhyaya with a sapling.
I request Advocate Amol Hunge, Executive Member HCBA, to accord a warm welcome to Honorable Shri Justice Nitin Sambre.
Thank you, my lords. I now invite Shri Atul Pandey, President of the High Court Bar Association, to kindly deliver his welcome address.
Namaskar. Chief guest of today's function, Honorable Shri Justice Bhushan Gavai, Judge, Supreme Court of India. Guest of honor of today's function, Honorable Shri Justice Abhay Oak, Honorable Shri Justice Prasanna Varale, the judges of Supreme Court of India. Honorable Shri Justice Devendra Kumar Upadhyaya, the Chief Justice of Bombay High Court. Honorable Shri Justice Nitin Sambre, Administrative Judge, Bombay High Court, Nagpur Bench. Honorable sitting judges and former judges of Bombay High Court. Honorable senior advocates, former presidents of High Court Bar Association, Nagpur. Respected guests, ladies and gentlemen, and my dear members. It is often said that there are many who offer advice, but only few who offer guidance. While trading the path, it is the guidance which becomes immensely valuable. We remember the pioneer of our bar who dared to challenge the status quo, who broke down barriers, and who championed causes that were ahead of their time. Their courage inspires us to push boundaries, to defy expectations. We stand on the shoulders of giants, a lineage of leaders whose footsteps have shaped the very foundation of our High Court Bar Association. As we gather here to honor and felicitate our senior advocates and former presidents of High Court Bar Association on the centenary celebrations of our HCBA, we embark on a journey through time, tracing the arc of their excellence, wisdom, and leadership, and celebrating their collective achievements. All our senior advocates and past presidents are true pillars of HCBA. While reflecting on their legacy, we are reminded of the profound impact that they have on the members, lawyers, and upon entire profession as a whole. We are indebted to all the visionaries who dreamed big, who saw possibilities where others saw limitations, and who transformed challenges into opportunities. Respected senior advocates and past presidents, your foresight fuels our imagination, ignites our creativity, and leads towards a brighter future. Your selflessness reminds us that true leadership isn't measured by accolades, but by the lives touched and the differences made. While you, our mentors, were doing your work at the bar and for the bar, probably you were not even aware that you are actually inspiring us. Your dedication and expertise motivate and guide us as we navigate our own paths in the legal profession. You have always kept the good of the bar at sight and always acted for the betterment of the High Court Bar Association. Each one of you have contributed in your unique way for creating and enhancing the glory of our bar. It gives us honor and privilege that we are able to felicitate you all on the special occasion of the centenary year celebrations of our Bar Association. There could not have been a more befitting occasion than this to express our gratitude to all of you as our mentors. To all our senior advocates and past presidents, we extend our deepest gratitude for your service, your sacrifice, and your enduring legacy. May your spirit of wisdom, excellence, and leadership continue to inspire us, guide us, and unite us as we journey forward together. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Honorable Shri Justice Nitin Sambre has been a patron and a mentor to the High Court Bar Association and has always extended unwavering support and aid in all our ventures. I request Honorable Shri Justice Sambre to enlighten us with a few words.
Honorable Justice Bhushan Gavai, Judge Supreme Court of India. Honorable Justice Abhay Oak, Judge Supreme Court of India. Honorable Justice Prasanna Varale, Judge Supreme Court of India. Chief Justice Bombay High Court, Honorable Justice Devendra Upadhyaya. Office bearers of the association, Mr. Pandey, Mr. Jaltare, Executive Committee members, former Judge Justice Sirpurkar, former judges of the Bombay High Court Senior Counsel, Mr. Ane, who all the way came from Bombay, Mr. Bhangde, Mr. Dharmadhikari, Mr. Gode, and the beacons of this Bar Association family. Ladies and gentlemen, in the beginning of this celebration today morning, all of us are presented with saplings, and I really appreciate the approach of the Bar Association to welcome us by these seasonal trees of mangoes, to welcome each of the dignitary on the dais. This makes me to share my feelings about the event of the presenting these mango saplings, that, sir, this seasonal fruit gives the immense pleasure in a particular season. But let me assure that our Bar Association will always keep you reminding about the sweetness, the taste of these mango tree, seasonal tree, and its fruits, so as to cherish the memories of today's function and this year's centenary celebration. I quote, "Lawyers occupy a specially privileged position in society, and that thrust gets responsibility upon us. At the same time, it gives us immense opportunity to mold the life and the thoughts of the nation, not just through talk, but also by our life and example, both within the court and beyond." Sir Justice Vivian Bose. Today we have gathered on the delightful occasion of felicitating designated senior advocates and former presidents of the High Court Bar Association, Nagpur, as a mark of respect for their valuable contribution for the development and grooming of bar, as well as for their contribution in the social cause as a part of this centenary year celebration. All of them deserve this appreciation for their unfaltering support and encouragement to this association. As a member of bar, along with everyone else, I am also indebted to these esteemed awardees. All of us are already aware about the rich history and heritage of Nagpur bench of the Bombay High Court as well as the High Court Bar Association, Nagpur. But the occasion calls for a quick recap of Judicial Commission Court, which was set up at Nagpur by the British government in 1861. In 1921, it was elevated as a governor's province, and owing to the same, Nagpur was now entitled to a high court. However, no such sanction was granted by the British government till 1933. In 1933, the central provinces was expanded by the addition of Berar region. Eventually, on January 2nd, 1936, a latest patent was issued, establishing Nagpur High Court for the central provinces and Berar. The High Court started functioning under the leadership of Chief Justice Sir Gilbert Stone from January 9, 1936. With the passage of State Reorganization Act 1956, after creation of the state of Madhya Pradesh, the latest patent of 1936 was transferred to the state of Madhya Pradesh. Subsequently, state of Bombay was bifurcated into two, state of Maharashtra and state of Gujarat, and on account of Nagpur Pact, Nagpur was given the status of second capital of the state of Maharashtra. As a result of same, present day Nagpur bench of Bombay High Court started functioning since 1960. Earliest record of Nagpur Bar Association is available of the year 1922. It's functional since the time Nagpur was administered by Judicial Commissioners Court, which was the highest court to administer the central province back then. The association had almost 23 members. After establishment of High Court at Nagpur, the Bar Association thereafter was labeled as Nagpur High Court Bar Association and finally as High Court Bar Association Nagpur. We are all aware of the great achievements and contribution of the High Court Bar Association Nagpur to the legal fraternity. However, it is also pertinent to note that the early demand of stalwarts of the bar were extremely revolutionary. In 1924, the Bar Association took a firm stand on seeking appointment of member to the Judicial Commissioners Court from the member of the bar. On July 25, 1925, a resolution demanding setting up of a High Court in Nagpur to improve judicial administration in line with other High Court in the other provinces in India was passed. In 1926, likes M.Y. Sharif, M.R. Bobde, K.K. Gandhe, D.T. Mangalmurthy, R.B. Kinkhede, N.B. Niyogi, W.B. Pendarkar, with other members of the bar resolved that Nagpur has been unjustly excluded from the Bar Council Bill, and they called upon legislature to include the Nagpur in the provisions of upcoming Bar Council Bill. Shri Hari Singh Gaur prepared a note on the Civil Procedure Bill, which was unanimously forwarded by the Bar Association to the legislature, and it was eventually also incorporated in some extent in the Code of Civil Procedure. He also introduced in the Assembly a bill known as Children Protection Bill to prevent infant marriage in India by raising the age of consent from 15 to 16, though it was in conflict with contemporary rituals. However, the Nagpur Bar Association held them high in view of their keen sense of justice. Around the year 1940, the association saw unanimous election of members on account of limited strength and general consent amongst the members of the Bar Association and respect to their own stalwarts. The High Court Bar Association Nagpur has now crossed the strength of more than 2,500 members with the equal participation of lady lawyers. The man without whom it would not be proper to celebrate the achievements and history of the High Court Bar Association Nagpur is Honorable Sir Shri Justice Viven Bose, who a legend not only at the Nagpur but all over the world. He was a judicial activist, great scholar, liberty-oriented and futuristic individual. Sir Bose belonged to the distinguished Bose family who migrated from Bengal to Central Province and Berar. After completing his education from the Cambridge University, he returned to India and started practicing at Nagpur. He served as a government advocate and standing counsel to the government of Central Provinces and Berar. Further, he was also the first principal of University Law College Nagpur, from where perhaps all our today's beacon have graduated in law. Thereupon, he was appointed as a judge of Nagpur High Court before becoming Chief Justice of Nagpur High Court. In 1951, he was elevated to the Supreme Court of India. The Mr. M.K. Nambiar has quoted, for a judge of Supreme Court, 4 qualities are required. Those are indispensable: vision, compassion, creativity, and courage. In his life, he had seen one such judge whom he could never forget, and the said personality was Sir Justice Viven Bose, who had all the 4 qualities in abundance. He was the first one to lay down that any action which is not reasonable, just and fair is violative of Article 14 in Anwar Ali Sarkar in 1952. A quarter of the century before what is repeated in Maneka Gandhi case. Such is the history of this association. The beacons to whom we are felicitating today, I really feel honored to be part of this event. I thank Justice Gavai for suggesting that I should accept the proposal of shifting my headquarters from Bombay to Nagpur and to witness this event. And I equally thank the Chief Justice for giving this opportunity to me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my lord, for your enlightening words. We are honored today by the gracious presence of the Honorable the Chief Justice of the Bombay High Court, my Lord Justice Devendra Kumar Upadhyaya. In his lordship's own words, before this august gathering would be appropriate, and I quote, "A lawyer has to live like a hermit and work like a horse." We thoroughly concur with your lordship and invite my lord to kindly address the gathering.
A very good morning and namaskar to all present here. Without going through the formalities of greetings to all present here, honorable judges from Supreme Court, sitting and former, my brother and sister judges, sitting and former, senior advocates, office bearers of the Bar Association, other members, ladies and gentlemen. Brother Sambre talked about mangoes. Now I must tell you, I come from Lucknow. And there is a competition between mangoes of Ratnagiri and Lucknow. We say that Dashari is king of mangoes. You say no, it is Hapus which is king of mangoes. So, but the benefit which I will now derive of coming to Bombay is that earlier I used to have mango season for only 2 months. That's July and August. But now I'll have a continuous mango season of 5 months, starting from April to August. So that's the first blessing showered on me on my assuming the charge here at Bombay. I feel delighted and very happy to be part of the centenary celebrations of this High Court Bar Associations. Since a day before yesterday, I have been hearing all sorts of history, the stories, the anecdotes of the members of High Court Bar Association at Nagpur, right from Sir Hari Singh Gaur to Vivian Bose to Justice Hidayatullah and all other later judges and advocates. What all I can feel about the Nagpur Bar Association is that you have a very, very rich tradition, history, ethos, and something to inherit. So in that endeavor, I not only welcome and congratulate all senior designated lawyers who are going to be felicitated and the past presidents of Bar Association, but I wished you would have included the past secretaries also. Many of my brothers and sister judges today would have been in the fray, including Justice Sambre. Something about the profession of a lawyer. I have been a lawyer for quite long time, 22, 23 years. What I could learn has been summed up by an English judge named Edward Abbott Parry. He has written a wonderful book. He talks about 7 lamps of advocacy. You must have read, you must have heard about it. So the first lamp of advocacy he describes in his book is lamp of honesty. Honesty is a virtue not only to be imbibed, learned, but practiced as well. Honesty towards your clients, honesty towards your opponents, honesty, of course, towards the court, and above all, honesty towards your own conscience. So that's the first lamp of advocacy which Judge Parry pleads for. So to sum up, honesty by manasa vacha karmana. Man se, vachan se, karm se. So this is the first lamp of honesty. The second, of course, is lamp of courage. Any lawyer, you must have heard many stories about the courage exemplified by the lawyers while arguing matters. Courage to stand before the court in all kinds of odds. To seek justice, to procure justice for a client who has come to you in distress. The third, of course, and undisputedly the most important, is industry. You know, a lawyer or anyone related with the field of law, be it a lawyer or a judge, has to be a constant, lifelong learner. If you read a particular section of a particular statute 100 times, you may be deriving at least 50 such interpretations. Each time you read it afresh, you will have something new to suit your arguments if you are carrying it forward for your client in the court. So industry is one of the most, of course there are human beings who are naturally brilliant, but then industry has no substitute. So it is true primarily for the young lawyers that this lamp of industry has to be imbibed, learned and practiced. The fourth lamp of advocacy is wit. Now many a times you come across, we as judges also come across very tense moments in the course of arguments. So it is your wit which is ultimately going to not only ease the whole atmosphere, but it may sometimes result in getting some due favors by the court in favor of the party you are appearing for. Today in the morning itself I shared a very witty anecdote with my colleagues. Now it is an incident which happened in Lucknow bench of Allahabad High Court. There was some very contentious matter going on in the court, and a designated senior lawyer from Madras has come to address the court on behalf of the petitioner. The matter pertained to some dispute with the state government and the power corporation relating to power purchase agreement. Now the senior advocate started his argument and the court asked him, "Mr. Counsel, how is your reputation maintainable?" So he ducked the question, ducked the query of the court and kept on arguing in his own inevitable manner. The court again second time asked him, "Mr. Counsel, how the reputation is maintainable?" "Because of this. So the senior advocate from Madras again kept on arguing and did not reply to the query. The third time, court got a bit, jittery. So, thoda जोर से बोले, "Mr. Counsel, we are asking you how the reputation is maintainable." The senior advocate says, "My lords, I have not come all along from Madras to teach your lordships the basics of law." So that sometimes you have to be witty and taking the wit on your stride makes the whole atmosphere very affable, easy, and ultimately it helps achieve a point being urged by the lawyers. Fifth lamp of advocacy, as they call it, is eloquence. And I don't need to elaborate as to how and why a lawyer has to be eloquent in his speech before the court and even otherwise. Then the next or sixth lamp of advocacy is judgment. Now, what is judgment? To form an informed opinion about the matter which you are taking to the court. So that skill needs to be developed by a lawyer so that you are able to see the matter to be argued before the court from outside the matter. If you get into that matter, you will not be able to objectively view, and therefore you will not be able to be objective while arguing the matter in the court. So therefore you have to have the skill of, arriving at an informed opinion about the matter you are taking to the court. And last lamp of the advocacy as described by Judge Parry is fellowship, which I must acknowledge that Nagpur lawyers have in abundance. Fellowship. So fellowship towards your opponent, towards your friend arguing on the other side, fellowship towards the court, fellowship towards the client you are, whose cause you are espousing for. So these are the 7 attributes of advocacy, and to these 7 attributes, another attribute which has been added by some author, I don't remember his name, he's an Indian author. He says, apart from these 7 lamps of advocacy, you should include the tact also as the 8th lamp of advocacy. So this is something which I wanted to speak today about, and I wish there would have been more junior counsels present here. They would have been benefited a bit. What is the task of a lawyer? I have been repeatedly saying this in any gathering of the lawyers. Your task is very, very arduous, very, very difficult. What do you do exactly? Somebody's pain or anguish or frustration, you carry on your shoulders and put it across to the court in the jest of seeking justice for that person. So it's a very arduous task a lawyer performs. So you have to be conscious of this. Apart from your professional commitments, apart from your commitment towards the client approaching you in his search of justice, lawyers historically, at least in this society, in this country, have played a very, very vital role of leading the society. There is a wonderful book about Mahatma Gandhi, now written by Charles T. Salvo. The title of the book is Man Before Mahatma. There is a myth prevailing in all of us, in the minds of all of us, that Mahatma Gandhi was not a successful lawyer. That's a myth, I may tell you, and one should go through this book. And you will realize he was a very successful lawyer there in South Africa before he became Mahatma there. So from his journey from a lawyer to a leader who led the society there in South Africa first and led our society here in this country so that we are breathing here in the independent air at least. So his life as a lawyer needs to be studied more. That would be my, I wish all lawyers go through this book, and then they will realize that apart from their commitment to their professional work, they owe some other duties as well. With these words, I would again congratulate all the lawyers who are going to be felicitated today and the office bearers of the Bar Association. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my lord, for enlightening us in your own inimitable style regarding the wonderful lamps of advocacy. On the occasion of the centenary year of the High Court Bar Association, Nagpur, we have gathered today to commemorate and rejoice in the lives of some of the most illustrious and revered members of the Nagpur Bar, former presidents of the High Court Bar Association, and designated senior advocates of the Nagpur Bar. These stalwarts have, through their sheer perseverance, wisdom, and unparalleled legal brilliance, accomplished unmatched feats, and on their way to the top, surpassed the ordinary to take the Nagpur Bar to heights hitherto unheard of. My Lord Justice Upadhyaya and my Lord Justice Sambre spoke about the seasonality of the fruit of mango. It would only be fitting to mention that these beacons of Nagpur Bar stand tall and wide like the full-grown mango tree, offering shade and support to young lawyers of the bar. On this occasion, it is only fitting that we begin the felicitations with the doyen of the Nagpur Bar, one of the finest legal minds of the country has ever seen, former Advocate General of Maharashtra, Senior Advocate Shri V.R. Manohar. Advocate Manohar was the president of the Bar Association from 1979 to 1983. His versatility and expertise in almost all areas of law is unmatched. An institution in himself, Shri Manohar's immense contribution has resulted in the establishment of the R.K. Manohar Library as well as the R.K. Manohar E-Library the Nagpur Bar is proud of today. We have all grown up hearing stories of his legal acumen and skill, and he has been an inspiration for generations of lawyers. Even though Shri Manohar cannot join us today in person, he has sent us his blessings and wishes for a bright future.
Our next beacon of HCBA was the former Advocate General of Maharashtra and the President of the Bar from 1993 to 1996. I invite Senior Advocate Shri S.G. Ane on stage to accept felicitation at the hands of Honorable Shri Justice B.R. Gavai. After being designated as Senior Advocate at an extremely early age, Advocate Ane expanded his area of work at Mumbai and Delhi. His expertise in constitutional and election matters and service law has been invaluable. Known for his oratory skills, Shri Ane is also devoted to many social causes close to his heart, including sounding a clarion call for separate statehood to Vidarbha.
Thank you. Our next beacon was the first president of the High Court Bar Association to be elevated to the bench. I invite Honorable Shri Justice V.C. Daga on stage. My Lord was the president of the High Court Bar Association from 1996 to 2000. My Lord has been instrumental in his tireless efforts to establish the R.K. Manohar Library, and his tenure is etched in the minds of the members for flawless decisions in the chamber allocation in the then newly constructed South Annex building. The M.N. Belekar lecture series commenced under his leadership. His lordship had a flourishing practice in civil and commercial law before the trial courts and the High Court before his elevation. My Lord's clarity of thought and legal acumen was remarkably seen in a plethora of judgments delivered on various legal issues which hold the field till date.
Known for his in-depth knowledge of law and thorough preparation, our next distinguished member of the bar has contributed immensely to various fields of law, and law journals year after year bear testimony to this fact. I invite Senior Advocate Shri M.G. Bhangre on stage. His skillful arguments and courtcraft with the ability to overturn the odds are witnessed by many of us daily. Shri Bhangre's formidable presence usually propels the opponent lawyer to prepare his case with even more conviction. His argument in Anand Katole's case is now the law of the land.
It is my proud privilege to next invite the first female president of the High Court Bar Association and the only lady advocate from this bar to be conferred the honor of designation as senior advocate, Srimati Kumkum Sirpurkar, on stage. Advocate Sirpurkar is an unending source of inspiration for generations of lady lawyers like us. She was the founder member of the Vidarbha Lady Lawyers Association and has successfully shouldered the heavy responsibility of being the president of this association with remarkable ease. In this era of women empowerment, HCBA takes pride in felicitating Mrs. Sirpurkar for her contribution to the bar.
Our next beacon is someone whose generosity and contribution to the bar is colossal, and he is always the first person to aid and support the bar in every manner possible. I now invite Senior Advocate Shri S.P. Dharmadhikari on stage. A brilliant legal mind in all fields of law, unmatched courtcraft, immaculate cross-examination skills, an ocean of experience in working before the trial courts as well as before various high courts and the Honorable Supreme Court of India, Shri Dharmadhikari's distinctive style of argument is a delight to witness in court.
It is an honor to welcome one of our most revered and respected members of the Nagpur Bar and the first patron and chief of the study circle, the ambitious project of HCBA. I invite Senior Advocate Shri A.M. Gorde on stage. We are extremely delighted that our learned dignitaries are joining Advocate Gorde in a gracious one of the most scholarly leaders of the bar, Shri Gorde imbibes within him a vast experience in various fields of law. Advocate Gorde has contributed immeasurably in the grooming of young minds of the bar. Known for his expertise in constitutional and civil matters, Shri Gorde is renowned for his calm demeanor and composed style of arguments. Advocate Gorde has played a pivotal role in the shaping of budding lawyers of the bar. I thank my lords for this extremely gracious gesture.
The next beacon who has made Nagpur proud holds the unique distinction of being the youngest lawyer to adorn the post of the Advocate General of Maharashtra. It is an honor to invite Senior Advocate Shri Sunil Manohar on stage. Admired by the bar for his distinctive presentation skills and soft-spoken style, Advocate Manohar has been appointed as amicus in a number of significant PILs. His expertise in matters involving complex issues of constitutional, civil, and criminal law is well known. A virtual storehouse of knowledge, Shri Manohar is one of the foremost legal stalwarts of the Nagpur bar, always ready to lend a helping hand to any young member of the bar.
I now take the privilege to speak about an esteemed member of our bar who is considered as an authority in constitutional, civil and service laws as well as the intricacies of Hindu law. Though he cannot join us today as he is not in Nagpur, Senior Advocate Shri C.S. Kaptan is one of the most respected members of the Nagpur bar and a guiding light for the members of the bar. Known for his thorough preparation and in-depth research, Advocate Kaptan has also successfully defended the NMC and NIT as their senior standing counsel in many complex matters. In tune with his love for nature and wildlife, he has rendered invaluable service as amicus in various PILs, including the plight of the Nagpur-Jabalpur National Highway, passing through the Pench National Park, and the preservation of the Lonar Crater. I wish that the audience gives him a round of applause, even though he is not with us today. Thank you.
Our next distinguished member of the bar is hailed for his unwavering determination in establishing the R.K. Manohar Library during his term as secretary and the e-library during his presidency. I now invite Senior Advocate Shri Anand Jaiswal on stage. One of the most accessible senior members of the bar, Advocate Jaiswal's proficiency in the field of constitutional law, taxation, civil and commercial laws is rivaled by a precious few. He is known for his command over English language, his to-the-point argumentative style and grasp of complex legal issues with inimitable ease. Shri Jaiswal has contributed enormously in grooming the members of this bar. He is also the former president of the Vidarbh Cricket Association. Advocate Jaiswal has been a constant guiding light for the HCBA.
The next beacon of our bar has made an immeasurable contribution in the field of criminal law. Acknowledged as one of the most soft-spoken and poised members of our bar, I invite Senior Advocate Shri Anil Mardikar onto the dais. Advocate Mardikar has been the president of the High Court Bar Association from 2010 to 2013. His expertise in handling criminal as well as civil matters with equal ease is remarkable. His vast impact in shaping junior lawyers is evident from his initiative to start at a sizable scale the activity of the study circle during his tenure as president. Shri Mardikar has been a mentor for juniors and is always at the forefront in guiding the High Court Bar Association in all its activities.
It is an honor to invite on stage one of our most illustrious members, a giant in the field of criminal law, one of the most sought-after defense lawyers Nagpur Bar has ever seen, Senior Advocate Shri Avinash Gupta. A former president of this bar association, Advocate Gupta, is celebrated for his famed cross-examination skills in hundreds of sessions trials before the criminal courts and countless criminal appeals in the High Court without compromising on his principles, which has earned him respect from the bar and bench alike. We are oft told not to miss an opportunity to witness his cross-examination and arguments in criminal cases.
I now take the honor to invite on stage one of our senior esteemed members with versatility in all branches of law, learned Senior Advocate Shri S.K. Mishra. Not one to mince his words, Advocate Mishra has carved a niche for himself in the legal circles of Nagpur. Since decades, he has very ably represented civic bodies like Nagpur Municipal Corporation and planning authorities like the Nagpur Improvement Trust before the Honorable High Court. He has also immensely contributed to the field of constitutional law, civil law, and law relating to town planning. Advocate Mishra has always been more than generous in helping the High Court Bar Association in all our endeavors.
Our next esteemed dignitary has the unique distinction of being the youngest lawyer to have held the post of government pleader of the Nagpur bench of Bombay High Court and also the conferment of designation by the Honorable Supreme Court of India. I am privileged to invite on stage Senior Advocate Shri Jugal Kishore Gilda, who also holds the distinction of having held the post of Advocate General of Chhattisgarh. Admired as an encyclopedia of law, Advocate Gilda has profound expertise in almost all branches of law. He has been appointed as amicus in many matters of vital importance. His in-depth preparation and tireless persuasion during his arguments is well regarded at the bar and bench.
Our next beacon of the Nagpur Bar has the distinction of holding the prestigious post of the Chairman of the Bar Council of Maharashtra and Goa. I take this opportunity to invite Senior Advocate Shri R.L. Khapre onto the dais. Shri Khapre's contribution to various branches of law is unparalleled. He is renowned at the bar for handling complex issues of law with extraordinary ease. Advocate Khapre's hold over laws relating to trust law is unmatched, and many of his reported judgments, including the landmark judgment of Vanmala Kamdi, govern the field today. Known for his persuasive skills, Shri Khapre has profound expertise in also handling complex cases of civil law, service law, and constitutional matters. He has also been the former secretary of this association.
The next beacon of our bar is someone who has contributed enormously to the development of various branches of civil laws. It is a pleasure to invite on stage Senior Advocate Shri Mukesh Samarth. A skillful lawyer with expertise in various branches of civil laws, particularly in the field of cooperative laws, APMC laws, and election matters, Shri Samarth is known for the clarity of legal thought and to-the-point argument style. He has always been extremely active in the ventures of this bar and has also been instrumental in various social causes, including the cause of statehood to Vidarbha. Shri Samarth is also a sportsman par excellence, actively playing competitive lawn tennis regularly at the state level.
The next distinguished member of the bar is the only former president of the High Court Bar Association, whose father was also a former president. It is an honor to invite on stage Advocate Arun Patil. Who was at the helm of affairs from 2013 to 2017, while his illustrious father, Shri R.V. Patil, was the president from 1989 to 1993. Known for his calm demeanor and gentlemanly conduct, Advocate Patil's tenure has been extremely eventful on account of various activities undertaken for the grooming of junior members of the bar. He has been instrumental in consistently following up for the allotment of additional land for High Court Bar Association. Known for his dedication towards the cause of the Shegaon Sansthan, he has always maintained a wonderful connect with the seniors as well as the junior members of the bar.
Our next revered beacon of the bar is someone whose contribution towards the bar can fill volumes. He has been unequivocally instrumental in radically transforming the face of our infrastructure and taking the HCBA to heights we had never imagined possible. Honorable Shri Justice Anil Kilor is the only president of HCBA who was elevated to the bench during his term. It will not be an exaggeration to say that his term has been the most eventful tenure ever witnessed, where we witnessed a complete makeover of the infrastructure of HCBA. When his lordship was a man on a mission, setting new benchmarks for the betterment of the bar. In fact, my lord has always been actively involved in all the ventures of HCBA from the start of his career till his elevation and even thereafter. My lord has skillfully used his famed talents of interior designing to best utilize the precious available space to the optimum. His lordship was pivotal in carving out seating space for more than 200 junior lawyers. Even after dotting the bench, my lord continues to encourage the bar in every manner possible. We all have witnessed his persistent encouragement to the junior members.
We next have someone whom the mantle of the presidentship was unexpectedly thrust upon, but she took up this challenge with unprecedented ease and remarkable dedication. Advocate Gauri Venkatraman became the president of the High Court Bar Association when my Lord Justice Kilor was elevated to the bench mid-term. I take immense pleasure in inviting Mrs. Venkatraman on stage. Her tenure became unpredictably challenging due to the onset of the COVID pandemic. The delicate situation which evolved due to the problems faced by the members on account of stoppage of physical working of courts and shifting to the virtual mode was ably handled by HCBA under her leadership, where she worked tirelessly for junior lawyers who had been pushed to the depths of despair. Mrs. Venkatraman has always exhibited a composed and firm image during her stint as president. In the light of the thoughts expressed by the Honorable Chief Justice of India yesterday regarding the representation of women in the bar associations, the HCBA takes profound pride in felicitating the only second woman president of the High Court Bar Association. Thank you, my lords. That brings us to the end of the felicitations. All the illustrious careers of these beacons only reflect the fact that there can be no shortcut to success.
The High Court Bar Association has had the proud privilege to felicitate the beacons of the Nagpur Bar. On behalf of the stalwarts of our bar, I now invite learned senior advocate Shri Anand Jaiswal to kindly reply to the felicitation.
My Lord Justice Gavai, my Lord Justice Oak, my Lord Justice Varale, judges of the Honorable Supreme Court, my Lord the Chief Justice of the Bombay High Court, my Lord Justice Sambre, President and Secretary of the High Court Bar Association, judges of the Bombay High Court, respected former judges of the Bombay High Court, dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen. I stand before you to reply to the felicitations which the High Court Bar Association has so kindly bestowed upon all of us today. As I was listening yesterday to the various speeches and the documentary which was being shown on the wide screen, my mind wandered back to a day in September 40 years ago when some of my colleagues and I entered the portals of the High Court to embark on a new career. We were starry-eyed juniors. Once we came in and we observed things for the next few days, then came the startling realization that we were totally unprepared and ill-equipped for the profession. Although we had spent 3 years studying law, passed law with good marks, we still were unprepared for practicing law as we saw was going on in the court. Our seniors told us, go and mention this, seek this circulation. We did not know what mentioning meant. We did not know what a circulation was. Nothing. We were blank. Then started the period of learning and assimilation from the members of the bar. From our own seniors, no doubt, but also from the other members of the bar who were practicing. We learned whatever we know, we learned from them. I am happy to say that although we were raw juniors and did not know much about it, about the profession, we were never looked down upon by our seniors or by any member of the bar. On the other hand, they encouraged us, they cajoled us to do things, they guided us, and this is how we started learning the tricks of the trade, so to speak, or the tradecraft of the practice of law. We were lucky to have giants in the fields of law who were there practicing at that time, and we learned from the way they conducted themselves in the court, from the way they prepared their briefs, from the way they conducted themselves with others, the manner in which they handled queries from the court. This is how we started learning the practice of law. At times, we were even scolded by some of the members, but we realized that was for our own benefits when we made mistakes, and they were doing it for our benefit. We learned how to prepare a brief diligently, how to research, how to conduct ourselves before the court, how to deal with clients, everything. There was no crash course, no online course at that time for anything of this kind, and this was not taught in the law colleges. All this we have learned in the Bar Association. It will be not wrong to say, and in fact it was best said yesterday by my Lord Justice Gavai, that whatever we are is really because of this Bar Association. Having said that, when we started, we were referred to as "Ha falana falana se junior hai." That's how the identity started. But as time went by, as we learnt more, as we grew in the profession, we were known by our own names, and we were proud when a senior recognized us and called us by our names. When we started growing, we realized that actually we have spent now more time in the bar than probably we have spent time in our home. Therefore, it would not be wrong to say that the bar is actually our second home. And I am proud to say that so far as the Nagpur bar is concerned, the atmosphere is that of a family. The elders take care of the juniors. This was there when we were juniors, and I hope it is there, it is felt by the juniors even today, because it is our endeavor to treat them as younger members of the family. This learning which has taken place, and this development which took place in each one of us, was because of the bar, and it is in fact just and proper that since it is our home, we will look to improve the situation at home, to improve the atmosphere at home. Therefore, whatever each one of us may have done is only returning the love and affection that we have received in our time back to the bar. I must say that besides us, there are several other persons who have contributed to the bar. it is not possible possibly for the Bar Association to felicitate each one of them. But on behalf of those who have been felicitated today, I say that we have accepted this felicitation on behalf of each and every one of these persons who has helped the bar to develop, although they cannot be here today. As we look back, in my mind, even today, is that young Raw Jr. who has come back 40 years ago, and I still remember the day we have come in. And these 40 years have gone in a flash. For many of the awardees, it is much more than 40 years. It has gone in a flash because happy events go faster than sad events. That's why the 40 years have gone in a flash. But in reality, it is almost a lifetime which has gone, but a lifetime filled with camaraderie, filled with fellowship, filled with happiness, filled with learning, and also filled with a sense of belonging, which is very important for every member of the High Court Bar Association, that they should feel that they belong there. On behalf of all the awardees who have been felicitated, I thank the High Court Bar Association for this gesture. We are participating in the Centenary, and we hope that the next coming century also will be as glorious as the past. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. A lot of us are here where you were 40 years ago. Your anecdotes give us hope to the starry-eyed juniors like us and inspire us to work hard and dream big.
Thank you. In this centenary year, the High Court Bar Association has also accomplished the difficult task of collating, organizing, and collaborating the updated data of all its members in the form of a telephone directory for the benefit of the bar. This revised edition of the virtual storehouse of almost all the lawyers of Nagpur would be extremely helpful to one and all. I request the honorable dignitaries on the dais to formally release the directory for the members of the High Court Bar Association and invite Advocate Vishwajit Singh Oberoi, the editor of the directory, to hand over the directory for the release. It was an extremely arduous task, collaborating the information from across all platforms, and we have finally been able to do this.
Thank you, my lords. Honorable Shri Justice P.B. Varale has always been the epitome of dedication and perseverance and is renowned for his helpful, ever-smiling persona. His lordship has always been a source of unending inspiration to young lawyers like us. We are privileged to have my lord amongst us today. I now humbly request Honorable Shri Justice Varale to speak a few words.
नमस्कार. या कार्यक्रमासाठी सभागृहात येताना अध्यक्षांशी जेव्हा अनौपचारिकरित्या ओक साहेबांनी आणि गवई साहेबांनी विचारलं, त्यांनी सांगितलं की सर हा 16 शतकपूर्तीचा आहे आदरणीय ज्येष्ठ विधिज्ञांच्या सत्काराचा आहे, पण हा सोहळा आमच्या दृष्टीने एक अनौपचारिक आणि कौटुंबिक सोहळा आहे, त्यामुळे भाषेचं बंधन नाही. आणि पडत्या फळाची आज्ञा घेऊन मी आपल्या सर्वांशी आदरणीय व्यासपीठावरील ज्येष्ठ बंधूंच्या परवानगीने मराठीत संवाद साधतो. व्यासपीठावर विराजमान आदरणीय न्यायमूर्ती भूषण गवई सर, आदरणीय न्यायमूर्ती ओक सर, मुंबई उच्च न्यायालयाचे मुख्य न्यायमूर्ती देवेंद्र कुमार उपाध्यायजी, माझे बंधू नितीनजी सांबरे, ज्येष्ठ प्रशासकीय न्यायमूर्ती नागपूर खंडपीठ, विधिज्ञ संघाचे अध्यक्ष पांडेजी, सचिव जलतारेजी, या सभागृहात आवर्जून उपस्थित असलेले ऋषितुल्य व्यक्तिमत्व आदरणीय शिरपूरकर साहेब आहेत, शिरपूरकर मॅडम आहेत, डागा सर आहेत, गोडे सर आहेत, भांगडे सर आहेत. सर्वांची नावं वेळेअभावी घेत नाही, पण सर्व ज्येष्ठ विधिज्ञ, माझे सहकारी न्यायमूर्ती बंधू, या सभागृहात उपस्थित असलेले इतर विधिज्ञ, युवा विधिज्ञ, स्नेहीजन, इतर क्षेत्रातली मंडळी आवर्जून आली आहेत. आमचे स्नेही राहुलजी दिसत आहेत. आपल्या सर्वांच्या या स्नेहाबद्दल आपलं मनापासून आपले आभार मानतो. आपण या निमित्ताने मला नागपूरला येण्याची संधी दिली, आपल्या समोर उभं राहण्याची संधी दिली, याबद्दल मी आपला अत्यंत ऋणी आहे. आपले आभार या निमित्ताने व्यक्त करतो. काल आदरणीय न्यायमूर्ती बोबडे साहेबांनी त्यांच्या भाषणात नागपूर खंडपीठाच्या तत्कालीन, खरं तर नागपूर उच्च न्यायालयाच्या या इमारतीचा जो सार्थ गौरव पाषाणातील कविता या शब्दांनी केला जातो, ते शब्द सार्थ उद्धृत केले. मला आठवलं, न्यायमूर्ती पदाची शपथ घेऊन 6 आठवडे मुंबईला काम केल्यावर मुख्य न्यायमूर्तींच्या सूचनेनुसार आणि आदेशानुसार मी नागपूरला आलो. नागपूरला त्यापूर्वीही मी आलो होतो, पण माझे वडील इथे इथल्या न्यायिक अधिकारी संस्थेचे संचालक होते, किंवा माझ्या काही मित्रांच्या बरोबर न्यायालयात कामासाठी आलो होतो. पण न्यायमूर्ती म्हणून आलो आणि या पाषाणातील कवितेच्या अप्रतिम शिल्पा प्रवेश केला, इमारतीत प्रवेश केला. मला कवितेच्या ओळी आठवल्या. आमचे निसर्ग कवी, ज्यांना सगळं जग निसर्ग कवी म्हणून ओळखतं, पण ज्यांच्यासाठी अजिंठ्याजवळचं पळसखेड्यातलं शेत हेच त्यांचं जग होतं, ते नाधो महानोर त्यांच्या एका कवितेत असं म्हणतात की, कोणती अशी पुण्ये येती फळाला, की जोंधळे चांदण्याला लगडून यावे, या नभाने या भुईला दान द्यावे, आणि पापण्यातुनी माझ्या पुर यावे, मी असा आनंदुनी बेहोश होता शब्दगंधे तू मला बाहूत घ्यावे. ही इमारत न्यायालयाची जणू तिच्या विशाल बाहूंच्या कवेत मला घेत आहे असं मला वाटलं. आणि या इमारतीशी संलग्न जे सर्व तत्कालीन ज्येष्ठ प्रशासकीय न्यायमूर्ती असतील, माझे ज्येष्ठ सहकारी न्यायमूर्ती असतील, माझ्या समवेत असलेले सहकारी न्यायमूर्ती असतील, या न्यायालयात कार्यरत असणारे ज्येष्ठ विधिज्ञ असतील, अगदी कर्मचारी वृंद असेल, छोट्यातला छोटा मोठ्यातला मोठा, या सर्वांनी आम्हाला इतक्या विशाल अंतःकरणाने आपलंसं करून घेतलं की त्या 9 वर्ष 10 महिने आणि 17 दिवस या कालखंडातला प्रत्येक दिवस हा माझ्यासाठी आणि माझ्या कुटुंबियांसाठी एक आनंददायी दिवस होता, आणि आम्हाला आमचं आयुष्य समृद्ध करून देणारा अनुभव या नागपूर शहराने दिला. मी नेहमी असं म्हणतो की माझं कुटुंब भाग्यवान आहे की ज्या कुटुंबाला डॉक्टर बाबासाहेब B.R. आंबेडकरांचा परिसस्पर्श झाला, आणि मी व्यक्तिशः स्वतःलाही भाग्यवान समजतो की माझ्या पाठीवर ज्यांनी आपल्या स्नेहाचा उबदार हात ठेवला ते न्यायमूर्ती B.R. गवई हे सदैव माझ्यासाठी माझे ज्येष्ठ बंधू, माझे मार्गदर्शक, माझे तत्वज्ञ म्हणून ठामपणे उभे राहिले. मला माझ्या इतर सहकारी न्यायमूर्ती बंधूंना मार्गदर्शन केलं. आम्हाला वेळोवेळी ज्या महत्त्वाच्या अशा सूचना केल्या. आम्ही चुकत असलो तर आम्हाला जाणीव करून दिली. आणि तोही प्रवास असा झाला, गवई साहेबांचं मी आवर्जून यासाठी उल्लेख करतोय की जर आमचं काही चुकलं तर ते मोकळेपणी, स्पष्ट वक्तेपणाने, निर्भीडपणे आम्हाला सांगायचे की हे अमुक गोष्ट जी आहे ही योग्य नाही, ही या पद्धतीने नाही, तुम्हाला त्या पद्धतीने करायला पाहिजे. हे सगळं अंतःकरणातून ते जेव्हा करतात, म्हणून मी असं म्हणतो, जेव्हा उल्लेख केला जातो की न्यायमूर्ती गवई साहेब न्यायासनावर जेव्हा निर्णय देतात तेव्हा एक त्यांच्यात असलेली सामाजिक जाणीव, शोषितांच्या विषयी, वंचितांच्या विषयी असलेला कळवळा दिसतो. त्याचं कारण हेच आहे की त्यांच्या अंतःकरणात करुणेचा एक झरा वसतोय. एक कविता आठवली पुन्हा. हे सभागृह ज्यांच्या नावानी आहे, विदर्भाचे सुपुत्र स्वराधीश वसंतरावजी देशपांडे यांच्या स्वरातली, आणि याच विदर्भाचे दुसरे सुपुत्र कवी अनिलांची आहे की चुकलेला तोल सावरीत चाललो, चुकलो तालात ताल लागला जीवास बोल, चुकलो तालात ताल लागला जीवास बोल, ढळलेला तोल सावरीत चाललो, वाटले जसे फुला फुलात चाललो, वाटेवर काटे वेचीत चाललो. हे सगळं आम्हाला शक्य झालं ते गवई साहेब आहेत, ओक साहेब आहेत, आमच्या सर्व पूर्वसुरींनी, आमच्या ज्येष्ठांनी आम्हाला कायम मार्गदर्शन केलं, आम्हाला जाणीव करून दिली की आम्ही न्यायमूर्ती म्हणून कशा पद्धतीने कार्य केलं पाहिजे. मी इथे आलो तेव्हा मी सुदैवी होतो की ज्येष्ठ प्रशासकीय न्यायमूर्ती होती, जी ज्येष्ठ मंडळी होती, त्यांनी अगदी आम्हाला प्रेमाने सांभाळून घेतलं. त्यावेळी मी आलो त्यावेळी सिन्हा साहेब होते, आदरणीय न्यायमूर्ती बोबडे साहेब नंतर ज्येष्ठ प्रशासकीय न्यायमूर्ती होते, गवई साहेब होते. या सगळ्यांच्याकडून आम्ही शिकत गेलो न्यायमूर्ती म्हणून तुम्हाला कशा पद्धतीने काम केलं पाहिजे, कुठल्या बाजूंवर भर दिला पाहिजे, आपला असणारा जो एक अप्रोच ज्याला आपण म्हणतो की तो कसा असला पाहिजे. कधी त्यांच्या निकालातनं, कधी त्यांच्याकडे पाहून, कधी त्या ज्या पृच्छा ते करत असत विधिज्ञांना त्याच्यातनं, या पद्धतीने आम्ही शिकत गेलो. आणि म्हणून मला असं नेहमी वाटतं की मी खरंच भाग्यवान आहे की या मंडळींनी अगदी दोन्ही हातांनी हे दान उधळून आम्हाला दिलं आणि आम्ही त्यांच्या मार्गदर्शन आम्हाला मिळालं आणि त्यातनं काही शिकत गेलो. आज आपण या ज्येष्ठ विधिज्ञांचा सत्कार केला, याबद्दलही मी आपलं अभिनंदन करतो. ही भावना अत्यंत महत्त्वाची आहे की आमची जी ज्येष्ठ मंडळी आहेत त्यांचं योगदान या व्यवस्थेसाठी, या संस्थेसाठी अत्यंत महत्त्वाचं आहे आणि त्यांच्या योगदानाबद्दल आम्ही आपले ऋणी आहोत. आणि आपले हे ऋण आपल्या प्रति व्यक्त करण्याचा, आपला आदर सत्कार करणं, ही आमची एक छोटीशी भावना त्यातून व्यक्त होते. म्हणून मी विधिज्ञ संघाचे त्याबद्दलही आभार मानतो की आपण या पद्धतीने या सर्व ज्येष्ठ विधिज्ञांच्या योगदानाबद्दल त्यांचं ऋण मानून त्यांचा यथोचित सत्कार केला. मी यासाठी हे म्हणतो की बरेचदा आपण इतिहासात फार रमतो, आवडतं आपल्याला इतिहासात रमायला की अमुक काळी तसं होतं, तमुक काळी तसं होतंय, विक्रमादित्याचा काळ असा होता, सोन्याचा धूर निघत होता, वगैरे वगैरे. छान, चांगलं. पण इतिहास जपून ठेवण्याविषयी आपण म्हणावे तसे सजग नसतो. काल एका गोष्टीचा जो बोबडे साहेबांनी उल्लेख केला त्याचा मी आवर्जून उल्लेख यासाठी करेन की आम्ही आत्तापर्यंत असं मानतो, आणि त्याला अर्थात त्यात काही चूक नाही, वावगं नाही, की पहिल्या महिला विधिज्ञ म्हणून ज्यांनी काम सुरू केलं ते कार्नेलिया सोराबजी मुंबईत त्यांनी काम सुरू केलं आणि एक वाट मोकळी करून दिली. पण कार्नेलिया सोराबजींना हे करण्यासाठीची पार्श्वभूमी हरिसिंग गौरांनी तयार करून दिली आणि ते कशा पद्धतीने त्यांनी केलं याचा उल्लेख बोबडे साहेबांनी केलं. मला वाटतं इतिहासाचं या दृष्टीने स्मरण करणं आणि त्याची जपणूक करणं, ते सातत्याने नव्या पिढीपर्यंत तो इतिहास गेला पाहिजे ही जाणीव ठेवून आपल्याला काही काम करावं लागेल. त्या पद्धतीने एखादा दस्तऐवज जो आहे त्याची जपणूक करावी लागेल. आणि म्हणून बार असोसिएशनला माझी ही सूचना राहील की अशा पद्धतीचा जो काही इतिहासाचा एक अमूल्य ठेवा आहे, ज्यामुळे एक वेगळ्या पद्धतीचा वळण इतिहासाला लागलं, त्या गोष्टींचा आपण एक कायमस्वरूपी जतन करून तो नव्या पिढीपर्यंत गेला पाहिजे, याच्या दृष्टीनेही काही प्रयत्न आवर्जून केले पाहिजे. त्यासाठी या ज्येष्ठ विधिज्ञांचा असेल किंवा ज्येष्ठ न्यायमूर्तींचा असेल त्यांचा सल्ला घेतला पाहिजे. आणि ही मंडळी इतक्या आनंदाने आम्हाला द्यायला तयार असतात. म्हणजे सिरपुरकर साहेब तर बहुभाषा कोविद आहेत. जेव्हा जेव्हा मी त्यांच्याबरोबर किंवा निमित्ताने त्यांना भेटायचो आणि इतका आनंद व्हायचा की ते विविध विषयांवर काही गप्पा व्हायच्या. अगदी म्हणजे त्यांनी दिलेले न्यायनिर्णय असतील किंवा संगीतातला कुठला तरी नवीन एखादा पैलू असेल तर तो सगळा आनंद सोहळा असतो. अगदी छोटं उदाहरण सांगतो मी की किती छोट्या छोट्या गोष्टीत ही मंडळी आम्हाला कसं शिकवतात. अगदी सुरुवातीला एका कार्यक्रमासाठी चंद्रपूरलाच एक कार्यक्रम होता आणि साहेब त्या कार्यक्रमाला प्रमुख पाहुणे होते आणि मी नवा जज झालेला होतो, त्यामुळे मी थोडासा जरा त्या नवलाईमध्ये आपला सूट वगैरे लेस असलेले बूट वगैरे घालून गेलो आणि त्यांनी पाहिलं की दरवेळी उठताना मी आपला लेस काढायचो, जायचो, दीप प्रज्वलन झालं की परत यायचो वगैरे. तर त्यांनी मला सांगितलं, हे बघ प्रसन्न, यापुढे तुला सगळं करावं लागणार आहे. तेव्हा पहिला धडा हा की लेसचे शूज अशा कार्यक्रमाला वापरू नको. हे म्हणजे इतकं सहज, एक कुटुंबातला एखादा मोठा भाऊ आपल्या छोट्या भावाला सांगेल तितक्या सहजपणे त्यांनी, कुटुंबातला एखादा मोठा भाऊ आपल्या छोट्या भावाला सांगेल तितक्या सहजपणे त्यांनी सांगितलं. त्यात हा त्यांचा भाव नसेलही किंवा मी ज्येष्ठ आहे, सिनियर आहे आणि महा ज्युनियर याला सांग, हे इतक्या सहजपणे त्यांनी सांगितलं मला की मला असं वाटलं की अरे हे खरंच आहे की माझे मोठे बंधू काहीतरी मला सांगतायत आणि ही सूचना उपयुक्त आहे. आणि मग मी ती पाळत गेलो आणि त्याचा खराच पुढे उपयोग झाला. अशा पद्धतीने ही मंडळी आपल्याला सहजतेने इतकं ज्ञान देत असतात, इतकं मार्गदर्शन करत असतात. प्रश्न हा आहे की आपण ते कितपत घेतो, कशा पद्धतीने घेतो, कितपत तयार असतो. आणि म्हणून एवढंच या निमित्ताने या सभागृहात जी आमची युवा विधिज्ञ मंडळी आहेत त्यांना सांगेन की हे सगळं ज्ञान आपल्याला दरवेळी पुस्तकांनाच मिळेल असं नाही. हे ज्ञान आपल्याला यांच्या कृतीतनं मिळेल, त्यांच्याबरोबर आपण बसलो तर त्यांच्या संवादातनं मिळेल, त्यांच्या अनुभवातनं मिळेल. आणि म्हणून अशा पद्धतीचं जे काही आपण विधी व्यवसायात आहात त्यामुळे अगदी येणारे कायदे असतील किंवा सर्वोच्च न्यायालयाचे निर्णय असतील याच्याविषयी सजग असलं पाहिजे. येणारा नुकता आलेला निर्णय काय आहे, कुठल्या विषयावर आहे याबद्दलही आपण माहिती करून घेतली पाहिजे. ही पुस्तकं वाचून आपण करू, पण एक विधिज्ञ म्हणून आपल्याला अधिक चांगल्या पद्धतीने काम करण्यासाठी, न्यायालयासमोर उत्तम पद्धतीने काम करण्यासाठी अशा पद्धतीच्या संवादाने आपल्याला ते साध्य करता येईल. तेव्हा हा संवादाचा सेतू हा नेहमी असला पाहिजे असं मला वाटतं आणि त्यावर मी नेहमी भर देतो. आणि माझी हीच आपल्या सर्व युवा विधिज्ञ मंडळींना हे माझं आवाहन असेल की आपण हा संवाद नेहमी आपल्या ज्येष्ठांशी चालू ठेवा. संवादानेच आपल्याला बऱ्याचशा गोष्टी कळू शकतील. आणि मी याचाही आनंद व्यक्त करतो की अनेक मंडळी ज्यांनी मी इथे असताना आपल्या व्यवसायाला सुरुवात केली, आज ते उत्तम प्रकारे काम करतायत. मला आवर्जून उल्लेख करायचा आहे की याच सभागृहामध्ये आपल्या हिरक महोत्सवाचा कार्यक्रम झाला होता. गवई साहेब होते, त्यावेळी तत्कालीन विधिमंत्री मोईली साहेब होते आणि बोबडे साहेब होते. एक भाग इथे झाला आणि त्यावेळी सुद्धा बोबडे साहेबांनी एक त्यांचं जे सुरुवातीच्या सत्रातलं भाषण केलं ते इतकं त्या समारंभातलं नव्हे तर ते कायमस्वरूपी जपून ठेवण्यासारखा त्यांचा तो विचार होता. तेव्हा अशा प्रकारच्या संवादांमुळे आपण अधिक समृद्ध होतो. त्यावेळी राधिका सुरुवातीला कंपेअरिंग करत होती आणि आजही ती इथे सभागृहात आहे. मला वाटतं त्या कार्यक्रमात तिने सुरुवात केली असेल आणि आज ती इथे आहे, याचाही आनंद वाटतो. या गोष्टी आपल्याला व्यक्ती म्हणून अधिक समृद्ध करतात. आपल्याला या पद्धतीने आपण केलं पाहिजे. ही एकच आपल्याला माझी विनंती आहे. आणि तुकारामांच्या शब्दात शेवट करतो की तसं पाहिलं तर मग आम्ही किती छोटे आहोत. तुकाराम महाराज म्हणतात की अनुरणिया थोकडा तुका आकाशा एवढा, सांडली त्रिपुटी उजळले दीप घटी. म्हणजे एक तुकाराम आंबिले नावाचा देहू गावातला माणूस, शेतकरी माणूस, तसा पाहिला तर साधा छोटा. पण तो तुकाराम जेव्हा विठ्ठलाच्या भक्तीत लीन होतो, विठ्ठलाच्या चरणी लीन होतो आणि त्या भक्ती सागरात स्वतःला वाहून घेतो आणि मग जेव्हा त्या भक्ती प्रवाहातनं तो जनतेला आपल्या बरोबरीच्या आपल्या सामान्य जनतेला जेव्हा काही सांगतो, तेव्हा तो तुका या सगळ्या जनतेचा संत तुकाराम होतो. ही आपली स्वार्थाची भावना सोडून जेव्हा तो ईश्वराची प्रार्थना करायला लागतो, त्या भावनेत लीन होतो, तेव्हा मग उजळले दीप घटी असं तुकाराम महाराज म्हणतात. मला वाटतं की हाही एक आपण भाग लक्षात घ्यावा. बुद्धांनी जसं म्हटलंय की हे सगळं केल्याने मग आपणच तुम्ही स्वयंप्रकाशित व्हा. म्हणून बुद्ध म्हणतात की अत्तदीप भव, तू स्वतःच तुझा स्वतःचा प्रकाशित दिवा हो. हे सगळं त्यानंतरच आपल्याला साध्य होईल. तेव्हा आपण मला या निमित्ताने माझ्या भावना व्यक्त करण्याची संधी दिली. आपल्याला आदरणीय गवई साहेबांनाही ऐकायचं आहे, ओक साहेबांनाही ऐकायचं आहे. पुनश्च एकदा आपले आभार मानतो. धन्यवाद.
धन्यवाद माननीय न्यायमूर्ती वराळे साहेब. तुमचे शब्द जपून ठेवू बकुळीच्या फुलासवे आणि कृतार्थ आम्ही तुमच्या आशीर्वादाने. धन्यवाद. It is my privilege to welcome Honorable Shri Justice A.S. Oak to the Nagpur Bar. My Lord is very rightly referred to as the harbinger of social change and preserver of the administrative accountability. We are indeed grateful to my Lord for gracing the gathering with his august presence today. I now humbly request Honorable Shri Justice A.S. Oak to enlighten us with a few words.
My esteemed senior colleague, Justice Bhushan Gavai, my esteemed colleague, Justice Prasanna Varale, Justice Devendra Upadhyaya, Chief Justice of the Bombay High Court, my esteemed colleague in Bombay High Court, Justice Nitin Sambre, judges of the Bombay High Court, Justice Sirpurkar, former judge of the Supreme Court of India, Justice B.P. Dharmadhikari, former Chief Justice of Bombay High Court, retired judges, Shri Atul Pandey, President of the Bar, and other office bearers, and beacons of the High Court Bar Association who have been felicitated here today. वास्तविक मलाही मराठीतून बोलायचं होतं, पण माझे मित्र प्रसन्न वराळे यांनी इतकं सुंदर मराठीत भाषण केल्यानंतर मला मराठीत बोलायचं धाडस होत नाही, म्हणून मी इंग्रजीचा आधार घेतो. I must salute the senior members of the bar who are felicitated today, and I am glad that Bar Association remembered their great contribution to the legal system, and I compliment all of them from bottom of my heart. I consider myself to be distinctly unlucky because I got a chance to sit and work at Nagpur bench of the Bombay High Court exactly 20 years back, only once. I was a visiting judge here from January 2004 to March 2004. I always used to make a grievance with the Chief Justice of Bombay High Court for not giving me this opportunity to sit at Nagpur. As a young lawyer, I had heard so much about the Nagpur bar. One of the successful practitioners here who died at early age belonged to my city of Thane. His name was Aniruddha Alai Sappa Oak. Whenever he used to come back to Thane, I was a very junior lawyer at that time. He used to tell me that if you want to learn real advocacy, you will not learn in Mumbai. You must come to Nagpur and practice in Nagpur for a couple of years. And from my first day in Nagpur, from January 2004, I was amazed to see the high standard of advocacy of members of the Nagpur bar, both senior and junior. All of them were very well prepared. They are to the point, and most importantly, they were fair to the court. And that's the reason, in later when I say that I used to always blame my Chief Justices for not giving me a chance to sit at Nagpur, though I continued to be judge of the Bombay High Court for a fairly long time of 15 years and 8 months. But I was fortunate to see great lawyers from Nagpur perform in Mumbai. The greatest of the two were Bose and V.R. Manohar. And I was so fortunate to work with them, to work against them. Yesterday, I remembered a very contested case which was argued before Division Bench of Justice Ajit P. Shah. There were 3 contesting parties. And I'll never forget that case because it was a feast for me. Bose appeared for the petitioner. V.R. Manohar appeared for a senior minister of the government. It was a fight over, usual fight about some cooperative sugar factory. And I appeared for the sugar factory. It was a feast for me. Matter went on for 3 hours. Normally, Justice A.P. Shah would not allow anybody to argue for such a long time. But it was an experience which I will never forget. As I said, I was fortunate to work with both the stalwarts. Bose was superb on fundamentals of law. As a very junior member of the bar, I always fondly remember one of the greatest performances I have ever seen. It was a very peculiar case. A member of the bar practicing in some city in Vidarbha wrote an article in Maharashtra Times, if I am right, criticizing one of the sitting judges of the Bombay High Court for some speeches he delivered at some places. A division bench of the Bombay High Court issued suo motu notice of criminal contempt. And surprising the judge against whom the articles were written, he was part of that bench. The Bar Association took it very seriously. Some of the raw juniors like me were selected to assist some senior members of the bar. And I remember the Bar Associations were represented by very eminent lawyer Madhavrao Paranspe and P.D. Kamerkar. Both of them are not with us today. And at the end, it was turn of Bose Bobde, who was the Advocate General at that time, to speak. I believe Bose must have argued for only 2 or 3 minutes, and that was the most effective argument. The bench asked Bose Bobde about his views. He said that, my lords, I am here as leader of the bar, being Advocate General. And I want to tell you in no uncertain terms that your lordship should not be touchy about the criticism made of your lordships. That was his first sentence. He ended by saying that if your lordships take this matter further, take this show cause notice further, your lordships will be sending very wrong signals. And his 3 minutes address was so effective that immediately after he sat down, the bench dictated an order, notice dropped for reasons to follow. He was the one who never hesitated to give back to the judges. I remember a scene before a very eminent judge of the Bombay High Court. He ultimately rose to become judge of the Supreme Court. He was taking up single judge's assignment of appeals, first appeals. There was an appeal from decree of possession passed by the City Civil Court in Mumbai. In those days, the decree passed by the Small Causes Court and City Civil Court was to be executed by the office of the sheriff, and they were extra efficient in executing decrees, and especially decrees for possession, considering the value of the property. So one junior member of the bar at 2:45, when judges used to reassemble after the recess, mentioned the matter before the judge. He said that, sir, you have granted me circulation for tomorrow, but today at this moment, the officers of the sheriff's office are waiting at the site to take possession. And since matter is listed tomorrow, I went to the City Civil Court and sought stay. The judge said that I am functus officio, so please take up the matter immediately. The judge was very strict. He said, nothing doing. Follow some discipline, you have to come tomorrow. Bose was sitting in the first row. He suddenly got up. He was not the Advocate General at that time. He got up and he said, sir, I am very sorry, but I want to tell you something. A litigant who has suffered a decree has filed a regular first appeal before you. Poor fellow goes to the trial court. Trial court tells him that I will not grant stay. Your lordships are telling this young man that you have to wait till tomorrow. So litigant will lose possession and he will be rendered remediless. So please don't do it. The judge said, all right, call for the file. And I want to share something further. The young lawyer was myself, who was protected by Bose. It was always treat to meet him. At least half a dozen occasions I must have visited his small residence in Bandra near Reclamation, and for briefing him. And it was always used to be a very memorable experience. Coming to Shri Vihar Manohar, I was fortunate enough to see generations of Manohars. I was a young lawyer, 6 months old lawyer. Mr. R.K. Manohar's daughter used to stay in Thane. So it was May vacation for the court. I received a call from her. They're all our family friends. She said that, can you spend, my father has come. You are about 87, 88 years old. Can you spend one evening with him? So I went. I was meeting him for the first time. I heard so much about him. And I committed a blunder by trying to discuss law with him. So he completely exposed my non-existing knowledge of law of evidence. And he had, all the sections were by heart by him. He did not refer to any bare act, and he referred to so many sections. As I said, I was fortunate enough to appear with and against Shri Vihar Manohar. I have never seen such a meticulous and disciplined lawyer in terms of preparation. Justice Bhushan Gavai, I think yesterday, referred to his blue book in his to make very beautiful notes. Chief referred, I think, beautiful notes in different colors. Many attorneys used to give me a second brief for briefing Vihar Manohar. And Justice Bhushan Gavai was so right that we must give credit to Shri Vihar Manohar for increasing the standards of professional fees in Mumbai. The conferences were phenomenal. I used to go and meet him in Upadhyaya. There was hardly any conference, in the sense that he used to be ready much more than any of us. He used to ask us one or two queries, and without referring to any digest, any notebook, he used to tell us citations of case law which he needed, not only citations but also names of the parties, without referring to any book, any note. His skills of advocacy were really unmatched. There was so much to learn from him. And he never hesitated to tell us basics. I remember I was having second brief with him, as they call it in the original side of the Bombay High Court. And as luck would have it, he got stuck up in the first court with some other case. So I met him in the High Court and I said, sir, we'll have to seek adjournment. And judge may not grant adjournment. The judge was very strict. So he said, no, I can't come. And if it comes to that, you argue the matter. I'll tell the clients. Then I said that, sir, I'll go at 2 o'clock. At that time, recess used to start at 2 o'clock and mention the matter and try to seek adjournment. He gave me very, very practical advice, the importance of which I learned much later on. He said, please remember, never mention a matter, any matter, before a judge at 2 o'clock when judges are hurried to rise. This will be most uncomfortable time for judge to entertain such a request, and especially request for adjournment, and we know that judge is reluctant. I realized the importance of what he said after I became judge. One more important thing which I learned from Shri Vihar Manohar was how to argue a bad case. He was simply excellent. We used to go to him and, sir, what is to be done in this case? And client expects you to work miracle. And sometimes he does used to work miracles. There was so much I learned so much from both the giants. The list from great and distinguished lawyers does not stop here. It continues. Next comes Shri Ane, who came to Bombay, who was Advocate General. I have seen 4 very eminent Advocate Generals given to state of Maharashtra from Nagpur. Bhushan Bobde, V.R. Manohar, Shri Ane, and V.R. Manohar's son Sunil. And what I want to tell this learned gathering today is that all of them maintained the highest standards set up by none less than H.M. Sirvai. In fact, I felt very sad when all of them gave up the post of Advocate General halfway through. If I remember correctly, I expressed my views to Mr. Shri Ane and more particularly to Sunil Manohar. I felt very sad that they gave up the post of Advocate General. Talking about Shri Ane, one of the best performances I saw was when he appeared before my bench in a very well contested case. It was a case where there was a validity challenge to certain provisions of the law which prevented and banned slaughter of cows. He appeared as Advocate General. Though of course we held against him, we struck down 2 sections. But I still remember great performance by Shri Ane. Perhaps he had sensed what was passing in our mind, and therefore he was more prepared. I was a judge of the Bombay High Court in most unfortunate days when 2 or 3 years was a phase where litigants and lawyers used to file litigations, writ petitions against the sitting judges of the High Court. Used to make all sorts of prayers, register FIR against them, take action against them. There was one such case filed by a partying person. He used to make a lot of noise in the court. And the target was very eminent judge of the Bombay High Court, who again came from Nagpur, very eminent judge on the criminal side. In that case, Sunil Manohar appeared as Advocate General. And the way he's performed, that was remarkable. It was a very difficult case. The litigant was making all sorts of allegations. The allegations extended even to the Advocate General. So I could see marvelous performance of these 2 younger Advocate Generals who were given again gift of Nagpur. There are many distinguished judges from Nagpur before whom I was privileged to appear. I did not get privileged to appear in many cases before Justice Masodkar because he demitted office immediately after I started practicing. But Justice C.S. Dharmadhikari, who was a favorite judge of the junior lawyers, because in his court we used to get order of notice so easily because he loved junior lawyers, he encouraged junior lawyers. There was so much to learn from him. Then Justice V.A. Mohta, I was lucky enough to argue several cases before him. Then Justice Palshikar, who was a friend, philosopher, and guide of younger judges like me. we used to hear every morning, we used to assemble outside the Chamber of Chief Justice at 10:55. Brilliant jokes from Justice Palshikar, which obviously I can't share here publicly. Then there was Justice Daga, who was felicitated today. He had phenomenal knowledge of civil law. And though he had not worked on the tax side, he became expert judge on the tax side. In fact, I had requested Justice Kumar to allow me to sit with Justice Daga so that I can learn tax law, because that was the only area which I had not dealt with as a judge. But again, that did not happen. Then there are many other illustrious judges. Justice Puranik, who had great sense of humor. I remember there was one lawyer from Bombay, very illustrious lawyer, he's no more. He was fond of publicity. He used to appear in number of PILs. And even if court used to pass simple order of issuing notice, it used to be published on Times of India, Indian Express, all leading papers of Bombay. So one day, a junior advocate appeared before Justice Puranik, and that junior advocate took the name of that senior who was known for publicity he was getting. So he said, "Sir, my senior is sick, so please grant me adjournment." With a very blank face, Justice Puranik reacted, "Oh, is it so? I did not read in Times of India today." He had great sense of humor. Then, of course, we had Justice D.K. Deshmukh. I was privileged to appear before him number of cases. I may have missed some names. And fortunately, the tradition continued in both the families. I was really lucky. Mr. Vihar Manor appeared before me in MCOC case, where the conditions of bail are very tough. And he argued so brilliantly. I remember his arguments, especially even today also when I hear the bail applications in those PMLA cases. I was fortunate enough to see the next generation of Manors also. His both sons appeared before me. Our dear sister, Justice Vasanti Naik, such an eminent judge of the Bombay High Court, she also appeared before me when I was in Nagpur. As far as Bhushan Bobde is concerned, we know both his sons. I was fortunate enough to appear to assist Mr. Vinod Bobde in one of the most contested cases regarding MLA disqualification in Mumbai. And of course, Justice Sharadra Bobde, all of us who know him so well. I remember when I was to come here as visiting judge, my Chief Justice was Justice C.K. Thakkar, very learned man. He gave me a few tips. He said, before you go to Nagpur, you don't forget to read autobiography of Justice Hidayatullah, my own Boswell. Because there is a beautiful chapter, I think chapter 7, on the bar at Nagpur. And he beautifully describes the doyens of Nagpur bar in those days. I don't want to look at their names. Their names have been taken yesterday. And most fascinating part of his book is something which happened at the time of reorganization of states. The High Court of Judicature at Madhya Pradesh at Nagpur was to be converted into High Court of Madhya Pradesh at Jabalpur. There was a huge fight between the Chief Justice of Bombay High Court and Justice Hidayatullah over sharing the very, very important library of Nagpur bench. That part is worth reading. In fact, he has written that one fine morning, when all this process was going on, two registrars of the Bombay High Court came. They entered his house and they took inventory of books in his house. So he has said that he got so agitated. He said that I never wanted to lose a single book which was there in the library at Nagpur bench. In fact, he says in the book that he directed security guards to be placed at the entrance of the High Court building so that books should not be taken away by Bombay. That's the most fascinating part. Now, the most important part is we had great judges like Justice Hidayatullah who cared not only for everything but also for the law library. This shows his greatness. The few young members of the bar are here today. I'll request them to read this book. You will understand the great traditions and heritage of the Nagpur bar. I wanted to speak so much about Justice Vivian Bose, but Justice Nitin Sambre has already spoken, so I will not spend my time on that. But I can only say that his judgments were known for brevity, simplicity, and lucidity. On 11th of March 1958, he delivered that famous judgment in case of Virsa Singh. For 68 years, nobody could touch that judgment. In fact, nobody can come near Justice Vivian Bose when it comes to quality of writing judgments. Few days back, I read an article where there's some mild criticism offered about my action of making so many judgments non-reportable. But 10 of those judgments where what I had done was just to follow Virsa Singh. So I felt that I had just followed one of the greatest judges like Justice Vivian Bose, so I will not make this judgment reportable because credit must go to him. And Nagpur is blessed by so many great people, Hidayatullah, Mudolkar, Justice Vivian Bose. I mean, that list will be unending. So there are some young members of the bar here. I must tell them that you are so lucky that you have this great legacy, the great heritage. And it is up to you now to continue those great traditions. And being members of the Nagpur bar, you have very high expectations. When I went to Bangalore, there are many judges, younger judges used to ask me about the Bombay bar. I used to always tell them that advocacy and good advocacy is not the monopoly of Bombay bar. And I used to always tell them that look at the standard and caliber of advocacy in Nagpur and in Goa. I can go on and on, but somewhere I have to draw a line because our function must end at 1 o'clock. I must thank the members of the Bar Association for giving me this privilege of coming before this illustrious bar members, and to express my views about the great contribution made by the bar at Nagpur to the legal system. I forgot to tell you one more very important contribution made by the bar, or the gift of Nagpur bar to the judiciary is, of course, my dear illustrious friend, Justice Bhushan Gavai. So I close here by wishing great success to junior members of the bar who are present here. And I again thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, my lord, for sharing such wonderful reminiscence of legal stalwarts of our bar. Such stories propel us to aspire higher. Indeed, two men stand behind the same bars. One sees the mud, the other the stars. My Lord Justice Gavai has always been a pillar of support and inspiration to the HCBA in all our endeavors, however unattainable. The Nagpur bar has had the privilege of witnessing His Lordship's remarkable journey in the field of law and justice. We are indeed honored to have such an eminent jurist and scholar amongst us today. I humbly request Honorable Shri Justice B.R. Gavai to address the gathering.
I also wanted to speak in Marathi, but as rightly said by Brother Oak, after hearing Justice Varale, it is difficult to match his skills, and त्याला म्हणतात झाकली मूठ सव्वा लाखाची. Before I proceed with my formal speech, I know I am exceeding my brief, but I have the permission of the Honorable President of the Bar Association. There are two more felicitations today. The Nagpur Bar has given a first lady lawyer as a judge of the Bombay High Court, and therefore I would request Justice Vasantrao to kindly accept the felicitation on behalf of all of us. And the second one is the first lady government pleader from Nagpur. We had the first president, Mr. Shri, the first government pleader, lady government pleader from Nagpur, and the second woman judge from Nagpur, Justice Bharti Dangre. My esteemed colleague and my friend for last 40 years, Justice Abhay, my esteemed colleague Justice Prasanna Varale, the Honorable Chief Justice of the Bombay High Court, Honorable Shri Devendra Upadhyaya, the Administrative Judge of the Nagpur Bench of the Bombay High Court, Justice Nitin Sambre, the Administrative Judge of the Aurangabad Bench of the Bombay High Court, Justice Ravindra Guge, all my esteemed brothers and sisters present here, their better halves, Honorable Justice Dharmadhikari, Chief Justice Dharmadhikari, all the dignitaries who were felicitated there. I also see there are many of the better halves of them. I don't know what to call Justice Shirpurkar. Who is the better amongst them? Justice Shirpurkar, the designated as well as the non-designated members of the association, Shri Atul Pandey, the President of the High Court Bar Association, Shri Daltare, the Secretary, all the office bearers, the young lawyers, the President and the members of the Bar Council of Maharashtra and Goa, the learned government pleader, the learned Deputy Solicitor General, Shri Rahul Pandey, the Information Commissioner, the former Administrative Judge of Nagpur Bench, Justice Shukre, and dear friends. As I stand here today, my mind is full with memories. त्याला आपण म्हणतो की विचारांचा कल्लोळ डोक्यामध्ये उभा झालेला आहे. The memories of last 35 years and all of those who were felicitated today have been in some way or the other closely associated. I had the pleasure of being closely associated with all of them. I began my practice in 84-85 at Mumbai and within a short period I got an opportunity to appear in a case with regard to interpretation of Article 341. There were two cases clubbed. One came from Nagpur and the other one which was filed by me at Mumbai. The interpretation of word in relation to a state, which was subsequently interpreted by the Supreme Court in the case of Action Committee Group. Shri, who was a role model of all young lawyers that time, had come to argue that case from Nagpur. It was before a full bench of Justice Chittadosh Mukherjee, Justice C.S. Dharmadhikari, and Justice S.P. Kurdukar. In his brilliant style, Justice Shri started his arguments. He was not a designated senior counsel that time. Somehow he developed infection and he was putting up in Sea Green and he telephoned me, could you come and meet me? And he gave me an opportunity because he was not in a position to argue the case, and he gave me an opportunity to argue that case, take it over from him. That is how I could get an opportunity to argue before a full bench within a year or two of my starting practice. And the another advantage that I had was we had a formidable opponent in the nature of Bhushan, the then Advocate General of the Maharashtra. Later on, Shri election was also that time. Justice Oak has stated, the Chief Justice has stated that he sees a lot of fellowship in Nagpur. It's really true. Justice, my dear friend Anand Jaiswal, also in his acceptance speech has stated that Nagpur Bar is just like a family. And it's like a family. We all are part of one family. पण ते म्हणतात की पहिल्यामध्ये वादळ होतं आणि in our family also we had a turbulent period for about 3-4 years. But that turbulent period did not come in the way of our personal relations. The personal relations were always as good. The bar was virtually divided at that relevant time. Mr. Shri was contesting the election for the president. And on the other side, the other group, they're all stalwarts. So V.R. Manohar, K.H. Deshpande, Parshikar, Madkolkar, Mr. Madkolkar, senior P.G. Parshikar. And on our side, we are all led by Justice Sharad Bobde. But our voice of us was Panditji, S.K. Mishra. I still recollect that meeting, stormy meeting, in which Mr. Ane had a very difficult time. I think because of that experience, you might have decided to shift out of Nagpur. But fortunately, that पहिल्यातलं वादळ म्हणतात आणि पहिल्यातलं वादळ जसं लवकरच शमतं, that turbulent time was over. Many of us might recollect that time. Though there was a virtual divide, some of them were fence-sitters. And one of them had signed on both the sides. There's now nothing to hide from you because now I can be only removed by 2/3 majority of both the houses of parliament. So he wrote a letter की आम्हाला जी सही दिली होती एका लाल रंगाच्या गाडीमध्ये भूषण गवई आणि कप्तान दोघंजण माझ्या घरी आले. आय डोंट वॉन्ट टू नेम एनीबडी. आणि भूषण गवईंनी चाकीच्या धारावरती चाकूचा धाक दाखवून माझी सही घेतली. फॉर्च्युनेटली क्रिमिनल ॲक्शन वगैरे काही झाले नाही, अदरवाईज आय वुड हॅव not been here where I am today. When I shifted to Nagpur on the advice of Bose and this is Mr. V.R. Manor in 1990, the first of the cases that I had to contest was against Mr. M.G. Bhangde. I don't know whether he recollects or not. It was in court C. I don't want to name the judge, but later on with my practice at Nagpur, I came to know that he always wanted to avoid the big matters. And when that matter started, he saw that this young man, आपको मालूम है बोले आप किसके सामने लड़ रहे हो? I was not knowing, I was just a junior of 5 years practice, shifted from Bombay to Nagpur. अरे वो भांगड़े साहब इतने बड़े वकील है, बोले आपकी तैयारी है कि नहीं? उनको मतलब सर है, मेरी तैयारी है. नहीं बोले तैयारी करके आ जाओ अच्छी तरह से. ताई तो टाइम ले लो. मतलब साहब मेरे को टाइम लेने की जरूरत नहीं है. नहीं ले लो बोले भांगड़े साहब के इतनी ताकत का वकील है, बोले उसके सामने आपको तैयारी के बिना आर्ग्यू करना नहीं जमेगा. And it was adjourned. That time I only knew Jugal Kishore Gilda because he was from my native place, Amravati. And when I came with bag and baggage, I had to keep my basta, I had to share the table with Jugal Kishore Gilda. Later on, I moved to the Bar Council room where Justice Bobde used to sit along with others. And from there, my close association with Justice Sharad Bobde grew. We also recollect the 1998 election where Justice Raga was pitted against Justice Bobde, and it was 98. And I told Justice Bobde, it was not that time we should start our campaign by requesting Justice Raga to give his vote in your favor. So we went to his office, मतलब रागा जी आपको बोबड़े साहब को वोट देना पड़ेगा. बिल्कुल बोले मैं शरद को वोट देता हूँ, शरद का वोट मुझे देना पड़ेगा. So this is a comedy that we have. Justice Shirpurkar was yet to be elevated then, and he is running from one court to another court, one Congress to another court, and his loud voice are still fresh in the memories. Thereafter, we had election of Kumkum Didi. We had pitted Nitin as the secretary, and she was contesting as a president. And a formidable opponent, Pandit Mishra ji was known as a Kida in the elections, and to contest against him was a very difficult task. And we had, I still recollect that Padayatra we had from the High Court to the Labour Court, and from the Labour Court to the District Court. And these are memories, but one thing is that though the elections were hotly contested, there was no bitterness. It was always a pleasant end. Anand Jaiswal, Anil Mardekar, and R.K. Deshpande were almost contemporaries. Had I not been invited to join this side, might be I would have one of the persons who have been felicitated today. But destiny had something else in mind. I recollect my period as a government period's tenure between 2000 to 2003 as one of the most memorable period. But prior to that, I must say that when Mr. Manohar became the Advocate General in 1991, he called me once and said that you should join the government period's office as an AGP, and that experience will enrich you. But I told him that there is a difficulty. I had yet to complete 7 years of practice, and therefore I am not eligible to apply. So he asked me, when will you complete 7 years? So told him on 16th of March. So he said, I will issue the notification after 16th of March. And the notification was issued, and I came to be appointed somewhere in August along with VM Deshpande, my dear friend Arvind Muzumdar, Raju Madkulkar, B.T. Patil was our government leader. And I must say that Mr. B.T. Patil gave an ample opportunity to all four of us, and we encashed that opportunity. All important matters in the government leader's office were argued either by me or by Raju Madkulkar or by VM Deshpande, by Arvind Muzumdar. And that enriched us. Within a period of 1 year's period, I resigned from that office. But the experience which I gained as an assistant government leader and opportunities to argue cases before the scholars of the bar, that really enriched me, and therefore I will always be ever grateful to Mr. V.R. Manohar for giving me that opportunity. As I said yesterday, we grew in our profession listening to the arguments of scholars like Bose Bobde, V.R. Manohar, K.H. Deshpande, P.G. Parshikar, Mr. Pendarkar, C.G. Madkulkar, to name a few. And we learned from them. The learned Chief Justice stated that he has narrated the 7 lamps of advocacy, and he expressed regret that the junior lawyers are not present in the large number. Otherwise, they would have been benefited by that. I must also say that in our junior days, whenever we had time, we always used to sit in the court halls to listen to the arguments of the scholars of the bar so that we can learn from them. But nowadays, that quality is lacking in the juniors. And I must say that if the juniors really want to emulate the seniors, then they should listen to the arguments and try to assimilate them, try to emulate the seniors in their argumentative skills. This will really enrich them. Mr. Arun Patil used to be always the election officer, but he is so non-controversial. But once he adorned the office of the government leader, of the president of the Bar Association, which was adorned by his illustrious father once, Mr. R.V. Patil, his contribution in the development of Shegao is known to all of us. His contribution, as well as the contribution of Bharti Dangre, who was the government leader, Deepak Thackeray, the additional government leader, and last but not the least, Firdaus Mirza, the amicus in that matter. Because of their association with that matter, you can see that the Shegao, which is a most pious place in Vidarbha, has transformed like anything. Mr. Khapre is also present amongst the gathering. Though he is known as Baba Khapre, I used to fondly call him Khaka Bapre. He was also, when he was secretary of the bar, I recollect, he was standing in court room number C and showing his back to the judge. The judge got annoyed. I again won't name the judge. Mr. Khapre, what are you doing? He turned back and he said, my lord, I am listening to the complaints against your lordship. I think many of you must have guessed who the judge was. So on, the memories are still alive in my mind. Mukesh Samarth, popularly called as Bhaiji, C.S. Kaptan, Justice Bobde, and me, the four of us used to find opportunity whenever we used to get a long weekend. At a short notice, we used to gather together and go to the forest made with adoba, painch, mogar kasa, and so on. The trip up at Pachmadi, wherein all of us and all of us juniors and juniors around, I think 20 to 25 persons, including Bharti and Nitin were all there. Bharti, Nitin, Anil, all were there. This, these memories are refreshing. Though those memories are of 20, 25 years old, they're fresh in the mind, just like it has happened yesterday. I had an opportunity to oppose Mr. Avinash Gupta and Mr. Subodh Dharmadhikari in one of the very sensational matters at that time in Nagpur. I was pitted against such stalwarts, but it was always a pleasure appearing against such stalwarts and learning from them. I recollect one incident in Court C, wherein a private dispute between a big builder and his tenant was sought to be termed as a criminal dispute, and Mr. Dharmadhikar and Mr. Avinash Gupta had filed a petition against them. I was supporting the court has no jurisdiction to entertain in such matters. And the learned judge had received some compliments from the Supreme Court in one of the similar matters. And I was showing that judgment to the Lordship. The Lordship said, go and read it. I told Lordship the book is upside down. These are all memories. As a government pleader, I must say that one of the most satisfying moments that I had in my life, I was asked in New York when I was there about a fortnight back as to what is one of the most satisfying cases that you would consider. As all of us know that a division bench at Nagpur had directed all the slums to be demolished within a period of 8 days, and also directed that if they are not demolished within 8 days, the collector would be guilty for contempt. Mr. Vilasrao Deshmukh was the then Chief Minister. I had recently taken over as the government pleader. He said it will be a huge law and order problem if you go on this. Lakhs and lakhs of people would have to be approved it. We filed a petition immediately. We had engaged Mr. Harish Salve and another senior counsel. When the matter was called out on the first call, Mr. Harish Salve was not there. So our AOR took an pass over. But when the matter was likely to be called, even after the second call, still Harish Salve did not reach. And AOR was Mr. Shinde, Justice Shinde, Sambhaji Shinde. He said, now you will have to take over because in the Supreme Court, after second pass over, the matter is not passed over, and on the second call, the matter has to be argued. And I could get an opportunity to argue that case. And fortunately, that order was stayed, which saved lakhs of millions of slum dwellers from being dishoused, from being uprooted. So on, in 2006, in 2003, I became a judge. As a judge, we had always role models like Justice V.A. Mohta and Justice Haribhav Dave, who, as I said yesterday, were the judges of equity. It was always a pleasure for a junior lawyer to argue before them, like it was always a pleasure to argue before Justice C.S. Dharmadhikari at Bombay. They gave opportunities to the juniors. I still recollect Justice C.S. Dharmadhikari. He had appointed me as amicus curiae in many matters in Mumbai, thereby giving me a scope to learn in my initial days. In Nagpur also, we could learn a lot from Justice V.A. Mohta and Justice Haribhav Dave. Justice V.A. Mohta was always pleasant, and when he gave a big smile on his face, you knew what is the fate of your matter. And so these were the days of learning. I became judge in 2003, and in 2006, we got an opportunity. Hundreds of matters were filed challenging the notification issued under the Minimum Wages Act. The challenge was that the notifications were issued in breach of the utter breach of the provisions of the Minimum Wages Act, and the matter was argued by Mr. V.R. Thakur, the lead counsel, and on the other side there were government leaders like Mrs. Jog, Bharti was also there, I think, in that matter. And we held that though there might be a breach, but the minimum wages as provided under the mandate of Article 43 of the Constitution of India could not be tinkered with only on the ground of technicalities. We held that the right to living wages, the right to wages so as to live the life with a dignity was guaranteed under the Constitution, and it cannot be deprived of merely on the technical grounds. So on and on, there have been many friends at the bar. Bhushan Dharmadhikari was immediately elevated after a couple of months, and both of us used to rotate between the single judges civil assignment. All assignments used to be before either of us. Second appeals, first appeals, CRAs, single judge writ petitions. There was a paucity of judges. Most of my contemporary colleagues have now retired. Had I not been gone to the Supreme Court, I would have also retired a year back. Most of my contemporary friends have now been designated as the senior counsels. As has been said by Dr. Ambedkar, that the lawyer is not only a professional, but he is a social reformer. A lawyer owes a duty to the society. A lawyer owes his duty to the nation. And we have many lawyers who have given up their flourishing practices and contributed to the freedom movement. We have many lawyers who are also contributing in politics, in the executive. Two of our eminent members have been the members of parliament, and three of them, I think, Mr. Gavai, then Mr. Kumar, and Vasantrao also around the office of the minister. And therefore, as a lawyer, we also owe a duty to the society. We owe a duty to maintain the rule of law. The rule of law is embodied in our Constitution in the Article 14 itself, which promises equal treatment before the law. And therefore, there is an onerous responsibility on the lawyers to ensure that the independence of judiciary is not only maintained, but it is cherished. And I must say with pride that in India, as I said in New York, in India, the independence of judiciary is a hallmark. The basic structure doctrine evolved in Keshavanand Bharati, which has its foundation in subjuncing in the judgments of Justice Mudolkar and Justice Hidayatullah, emboldens the requirement of the independence of judiciary and the independence of three wings of the democracy: the executive, the legislature, the judiciary. I'm sure, because Justice Oak said that we had to conclude by 1 o'clock, it is almost 1:05. We are celebrating 100 years. Today, we have recognized the contributions of many of our colleagues whose contribution to this institution has immensely enhanced the image of this institution. Like Justice Oak said, today we are felicitating 3 members in a family, Mr. V.R. Manor, Mr. Sunil Manor, and Vasantrao. We are remembering the contribution of legends in Bobde family, M.R. Bobde, Bhausaheb Bobde, Vinod Bobde, and of course, Sharad Bobde. But as Anand has rightly said, the felicitation is in the representative capacity. There may be many unsung heroes who also deserve the felicitation. And I was told by the President yesterday night that this is not the only felicitation ceremony, and many more are likely to come there in the offing, and in the year-long celebrations, there will be more such occasions. I'm sure that this event, the contribution of our stalwarts and their recognition will inspire many of our young lawyers, many of our junior lawyers to reach to the position that these stalwarts have reached. Many of our junior colleagues have already adorned the bench. Many are on the way to adorn the bench. On this occasion, I only request the junior members that you imbibe the 7 labs of advocacy as stated by the learned Chief Justice, follow them, and produce many more stalwarts who shall not only be the senior advocates, who shall not be only the judges of the High Court, but also the persons who will contribute in the social and political scene, contribute in the nation making, and make this nation a great nation, and bring laurels to this great institution of which all of us are product. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my lord, for sharing such wonderful memories with us. Indeed, by your lordship's words, we realize that there are men and women who make this world a better place just by being the kind of persons they are, just like the beacons of the High Court Bar Nagpur, felicitated or unsung alike. I now invite Advocate Amol Jaltare, Secretary of the High Court Bar Association, to kindly propose the formal vote of thanks.
A very good afternoon to one and all. First of all, greetings to all on the occasion of completion of 100 years of establishment of this august, glorious and illustrious Bar Association. As a part of Centenary celebration, we all are present here today for the event of felicitation of beacons of the bar, our most respected senior members of the bar, and respected former presidents of this association. I think this is the best occasion when we can express our true sentiments and gratitude towards our respected senior advocates who are instrumental in shaping the bar, in making and giving a recognition to this bar. This association is known for producing many legal stalwarts, and some amongst them are felicitated today as and also known today as beacons of this Bar Association. On behalf of the High Court Bar Association, I take this opportunity to first express my sincere gratitude to Honorable Shri Justice Bhushan Gavai, the chief guest for today's function, a member of this Bar Association. Indeed, this is a unique moment of felicitation of beacons of the bar at the auspicious hands of the chief guest of today's function, who is member of this bar and adorning chair in the apex institution. My lords, we are truly grateful to you for sparing your valuable time for the event, and also for being patron to this bar, and also for sharing the memories with us today. I am also grateful to the guest of honor, Honorable Chief Justice Abhay, Honorable Chief Justice Prasanna Varale, for sparing the valuable time and for sharing the dais and for addressing the august gathering on the occasion of Centenary year celebration. Lords, I am also grateful to Honorable Chief Justice Devendra Upadhyaya, the Chief Justice of Bombay High Court, for his constant guidance and support. And thank you, my lord, for presenting a souvenir which was published on completion of 150 years of establishment of the Allahabad High Court, and which is now kept in our library in the Sir Vivian Bose Reading Corner for the members of the Bar Association. Thank you, sir. I am also grateful to Honorable Shri Nitin Sambre, now who is in Nagpur as our administrative judge. Lord, thank you so much for your constant support and guidance in this journey. So also I am thankful to Honorable Chief Justice Anil Kilor for his guidance and support. And he has been mentoring us every now and then, and we have been in habit of probably keep troubling him all the time, my lords. Thank you so much, my lord. Lords, I am also thankful to Mr. Ravindra Ghoge, the Administrative Judge, Aurangabad Bench, who is present today. Former Chief Justice Mr. Bhushan Dharmadhikari, former Justice Mr. V.S. Sirpurkar, Honorable Judges of Bombay High Court, past and present, who are present today, who came all the way from Bombay as well. Thank you so much for gracing this occasion. Your presence here has added laurels to this program. Thank you so much. So also, I must thank Mr. Atul Korekar, the Secretary General of the Supreme Court of India, Mr. Mahesh Patankar, Registrar Supreme Court of India, Mr. Rajesh Joshi, Registrar General, Mr. Ravindra Sidrani, Mr. Bhansali, Mr. Vishwanath Shirla, the Registrar and OSD, Mr. Satfalkar, and the entire staff of Registry who extended their all possible help, which has resulted in making this event a successful one. I am also thankful to Mr. Rahul Pandey, the State Information Commissioner, Mr. Devendra Chauhan, my dear friend who is present today here, Mr. Deshpande, Deputy Solicitor General of India, for gracious presence. I am also thankful to Mr. Parijat Pandey, Chairman Bar Council of Maharashtra and Goa, principals and faculty members of law colleges, DCP Traffic, PWD officers, members of the print electronic media, and more particularly, the esteemed members of this august and illustrious Bar Association. Once again, I thank you for gracing today's ceremony and for being a part of centennial celebration. Last but not least, I was informed, rather I was warned not to take my name. That was instructions to me by our dear senior Mr. Bhanudas Kulkarni, Upakya Bhanukaka, once who has told me you should not take my name in the vote of thanks because this is my bar and I am doing it for my bar. But without his constant efforts, guidance, unwavering support, yesterday's event or even today's event would not have been completed. Even we have seen him working without shoes without wearing his shoes. He was standing when the road was newly repaired. Everybody was sweating profusely, but he was standing there, giving instructions to all. Bhanu Kaka, thank you so much. So also I am thankful to the Master of Ceremony, Advocate Radhika Bajaj and Advocate Asta Sharma. So also I am also thankful to Advocate Shad Mirza for being MOC for yesterday's ceremony. I thank you all once again for your active participation, active involvement, which has resulted in making yesterday's event and today's event indeed a memorable one. Thank you all. Thank you once again. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I request everyone present to kindly rise for the national anthem.
Jana Mana Adhinayak Jaya He Bharat Bhagya Vidhata Punjab Sindh Gujarat Maratha Dravida Utkal Vanga Vindhya Himachal Yamuna Ganga Uchchala Jaladhi Taranga तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you.